Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for the 8th of December. Starting with the ASX here, one of the things that I want to point out is that at this level here, which is a medium level, 6,500, I was kind of expecting this particular pattern here with this. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then the ABC correction. So we've kind of got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. We don't have this ABC pattern here just yet. So I think it's something that we could get. So let's just have a look at a few things. Copper's been a bit of a driver. So even though the copper's in a bullish market, it's coming up to 8,000 here. So that's going to be a resistance area, and we can see that we're at the beginning. This is a monthly chart. We're at the beginning of the month, but we haven't really pushed up past this strong move here. So we're creeping up in that regard. So we're going to see a bit of resistance come in from that point with iron ore as well. It's doing well and doing everything that we wanted it to do. It's working with the 900 area through here, and it's still quite strong, but it can spend some time in this little area. So we may see that come back somewhat. And also we'll have a look at BHP and the banks. Just with BHP, yes, well, the monthly chart, as we know, we know that BHP is coming into the long-term commodity cycle. Also with copper in the bigger picture as well. This is the same copper pattern as copper, and we're looking for 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and moving higher in this regard. But I just wanted to, I was going to cut through to the daily and pick up this wave 2 here, because we can expect. Well, this is wave 1 and 2 here in that view, and yes, we are looking to well, have been scaling in here for a while, and we'll continue to do that. But a little bit of a doji pattern here. So, but we'd expect some sort of correction in all of this here. So let's just have a look at what US BHP did. It's down 1% here, so it's softer here for that. Not a lot, but it is softer. So it's likely that we can see some pullback in this space here. For that. Let me just have a look at CommBank one here. I'm just looking at reasons why that market can pull back. Now this move back in CommBank here, it can be counted in 3 waves here, but it's still, if it was a wave 2, then that would be fine, would go straight up from that. But because it's a wave 4 and we haven't pulled back to the 38.2% retracement level here just yet, taking it from these lows here, it's possible for this to well, still move up a little bit further to the 50-60% retracement level, and then come down for this as well, and then move up from that point. So it's possible that weakness can come into this market here. So we just need to be aware of it, because it's gone so high here in this case. Then it doesn't really need to come back below the level, but to have some sort of retest here, because we can either get this pattern here. So currently we've been through the arrival, the reaction in the first high above the level. We've come down, we've bounced off it, and we've come back up. But normally we come back up 50%, 60%, but we've come back up much higher here, and we haven't come. So if we do come down, it's unlikely that we'll come all the way down through here. It's more likely that we'll come back to the lows here and end up with a pattern, the variation on that, like this here, with a nice support at this level and then moving up from that point. So we need to be a little bit mindful of that. So yeah, just pointing that out here for that. And yeah, let's just drill in and take a closer look at that. I mean, I still feel that it needs to go, even if we had it like this, right? Even if we had it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down through to here, we can look at this as an A and a B and a C wave. But as I mentioned yesterday, it still looks like, if I can just remove that for a moment, and this one here. As we drill into this a little bit closer here, I can see that we've got 5 waves in here, and then also 5 waves in here. So I'd still need to see 5 waves in here for that to, to have a C wave would need 5 waves in it to be here for that, before that came down at that point. So, but even that would take us into new highs. So at that point, I would be sort of more inclined to think that we will end up getting support on this level and moving higher from that point there as well. So a bit of a rock and a hard place. The S&P 500 is, when you look at that video, is moving up, but it's doing it sort of reluctantly. But the Nasdaq is pushing up, so, and the Russell and all those guys, the smaller stocks are pushing up. So perhaps that can lift us higher in that regard. So I can put this here as, copy this here and put an A and a B and a C wave here for this. But I could also, it doesn't do me any good because I can still count it in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for that. So yeah. One of the important things here though is that the 600 is important. I'm just going to remove that for a little bit, and then I'm just going to move this a little bit higher into 20. And that makes group 2 here. So that's there, and remove that. So from 500, we go 300, 500, and 800. They're the levels. And then we have group 2 here for this. So it couldn't find support in this group 2 here when it came back and tested it on the second, because that's normally where we'd go. We'd look at that to go long on, and then we'd look at the second high to go long on at that point, because anyway, that's just what I do. But it never really found that support here. So it's having another go this time. So it's checking it at this point. So technically we could go long at that point there, but we still need to see if it's going to be held within group 2 here for that. So if it does move down through here, then there's a bit of a problem with that. But I also don't have 5 waves up to this point, because I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here for, say, wave 1 and 2 here, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into this section. We can have a closer look at all this in a moment. I don't get 5 waves in this point here. This one here, we can look at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 into that space. That's sort of fitting, and that we could call that wave 1 or wave A and B here. But as a wave C here, I just feel that there should be another move up from that point. So yeah, unless we see any strength come into this, and we may see strength come in from the banks. Let me just have a look at CommBank again. I mean, if I take CommBank to the tick chart here, it is sitting on that 80 quite nicely here now, which we'd been looking at yesterday. So, I mean, it's only a small thing, but it's positive. And the move down through here, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A wave, very small B wave, raise flag, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, but I can count it in 3 waves being corrective at that point. So it's possible for it to move up. This is not displaying a nice impulse wave. The first wave's okay. Yeah, this is all okay. I mean, I could look at this as impulsive here, building up that side, but it's not really showing me any sort of real strength except for the fact that it's sitting on 80. So if CommBank drops below 80, I think that's a signal of weakness. Now, will that affect the ASX to that point? Probably. And we can expect BHP. What did the S&P close at? Let me check. Yeah, 0.2% lower. So that's softer opening. It's Tuesday. So normally on Tuesday, we normally see a bit of profit taking from the Friday and the Monday. and then see that profit taking in the morning session, and then the trend resuming in the afternoon. So more like an open in the weakness here, and then the trend resuming in that regard. And then Wednesday's also a V day as well, but normally a larger one. And Thursday can open higher and then trade down for the day. And then we look for Friday to be bullish and Monday to be bullish. That's the weekly cycle. So we can see how we go with that. But look, I think if CBA drops through the 80 here, that will be a sign of weakness in that regard. Let me just check on ANZ here. That's normally a little bit chirpier. From this low, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's nice. I can see 5 in this one. This is all a little bit messy here, and it could be counted as an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here for the B wave, and that's finished at that point. So if this low here gets breached, then we've got a problem at that point. Otherwise, if it pulls back 50-60% and then moves up, well, then you've got yourself a long trade at that point. But breaching that low there, that would bring us down here in 5 waves in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 down here for that larger correction at that point. So yeah. So this is not really clear. This could be counted as a B wave or part of an impulse wave that's not finished yet. So it's not really helpful either at that point. So a bit of a rock and a hard place that. I've probably mentioned before, but above this high here at the 2350 that I'll put the line in there, we must have spoke about that. If that becomes support, you can go long from that point, and that means that this is finished over here, because even this move up here is above the 61.8% of that move down through here. But look, this is not very helpful for today, that's all. So that's no help. CBA's no help in that regard. BHP, let me have a look at Fortescue, some of our trades we've been looking at. RIO, I mean, yesterday it was obviously high, and that's all nice, but the range in the bar, in the trade, I mean, gapped open. So, you know, I mean, from this low here to up here, every trend of every degree has got a beginning and a middle and an end. So we'd have to say that, you know, this big gap here and part of that range here is the middle of the trend, and this is the sort of ending of the trend. So and it wasn't on higher volume, so when we look at the volume here as well, so just bring that up here a little bit. So it wasn't more volume than the previous bar. So we're getting divergence here. So this bar here is strong, right? So more volume than the previous one, and we're getting increasing volume through here. But this one here, when it closed up here, was on lower volume. So that's just divergence. That's what the indicators will tell you, but you can just see it here. And then this one's opened higher here, but on lower volume here. So really it's going up on hot air. So we can expect corrections here. Even if it does move up higher, the 118 will probably be where it will be pegged at that point. And obviously the 120 is a big number as well. But I'm just trying to find reasons for weakness in the market. Let me just check. FMG as well, because we've been in that, and that's up nicely as well. But yeah, I mean, it's likely to come back and check on the 20 here in this instance as well, even though we've been building into this as well. And, you know, this is a longer term trend, so it doesn't really matter, but it's highly likely that we're going to see BHP pull back and this pull back, and so on. So yeah, we just need to be careful of a bit of weakness in this. So just on coming back to the ASX on the 15-minute chart here, and how I've counted it, we've got positions in here as well. So on a more positive note, we've looked at the move back down to the 6.5 here as an A and a B and a C correction, and then up here as 1 and 2 here, and then going up for wave 3 here. Now this is just as lazy as the S&P 500, but we have been counting it that way based on what the Nasdaq's been doing, because the Nasdaq's been pushing up and making new highs. If I can just bring the Nasdaq, it's not count, this chart's not counted, but we've looked at an A and a B and a C here, and up for 1 and back for 2, up for 1 and back for 2, and this is just all creeping up in a third wave. So it's got support on 500 now, so it may dance across there a little bit further, but you know, we are trending up here, and this structure from this low here is just not completed here. You know, the trend is this from this low, it's not finished as 1 and 2 and 3, and I know that that's not finished, 3, 4, 5, so it's just not finished. So not that the Australian market needs to follow it as well, but yeah, we'll see how we go. We've got a trade in here and here. We can also go long here again, but I've moved the stop up under this current low here, because if that's breached, then we're going to have a problem, because if that's wave 4 here, just touching on the top of wave 1 here, then we're going to have overlapping wave structures if this breaches down through here. So you could probably shift it to this one here, but because we've got an open trade here, I want to, you know, make sure that I try to get the whole situation here to break even at that point. That's what I'm trying to do. So this is reacting from this 700 here, of course, so we don't really want to see it going below the 50, the midpoint here again in this instance. But as a positive trade to the upside, yeah, I mean, even if it was this here was an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up to here, we'd still need to see another move up here for this, another high above here just for the C wave here. So it's very much like the S&P 500, just looking really lazy at this stage. So we just need to be really careful. But let's just hope that we get the arrival, the reaction here, and the first high above the level, and another correction here for this wave 4, and then up from that point. So any move down from this, down past these lows here, then yeah, that's a real problem at that point. We'll need to revert back to that 4-hour chart at that point here, and look at this in terms of a classic trading levels pattern sitting here and coming back down into this space before sort of heading off. But you know, it's a bit tricky because I don't see 5 waves in to that high here. I don't see that there. Yeah, so I'll just leave it at that. I don't really have any sort of answers today for this as such. Yeah, but that's as much as I know at this stage. So let's just see how the market opens and see if it can hold its ground. And if it makes new lows here, well, then it's going to be looking to coming back down and testing the 6.5 at that point, based on this being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in some sort of regard here, this being an A and a B and a C wave here. But yeah, expecting that's just not finished there. So we should be up. We'll see how we go. It just doesn't look very healthy at the moment, that's all. Okay.